Good morning. Right now, you're traveling 27,000 miles an hour. Your target is a comet called Hartley 2, discovered 20 years ago. But now we have the opportunity to fly by it and see it up close and personal. This is a fabulous adventure. You're watching it real time. This is the best simulation that NASA can produce to tell you what Hartley 2 is all about and what we're going to see. The comet itself, we've created a shape model from our best models. We hit it with Arecibo radar. We have a little idea of what it is. It's 2.2 kilometers in size. And it is spewing material like crazy. It is an incredibly active comet. Just now, we passed into its coma. The coma is the atmosphere of the comet. Think of the Earth, the huge Earth with a little bit of atmosphere. Here is this 2.2 kilometer comet with an atmosphere of 3,000 miles long. It's an enormous object. The spacecraft is currently on auto navigation. We're done. We now have to just sit and wait and watch what this will experience and what this will see. And this is the best way we can do it. The spacecraft, of course, is down the bottom part of your frame. The sun is illuminating the solar panels. The instruments are all looking at the comet. Those are the lines that go to its distant object, as you see. In the upper right-hand corner, we have the instrument frames. We have one large frame. It's called the medium resolution imager. We have a smaller box centered on the comet. It's called the high resolution imager. And we have a slit right down the middle of it with an infrared spectrometer. So these instruments are taking measurements, storing them on board. They're taking measurements and feeding it into the computer that navigates the spacecraft. So as we pass by this comet, it will have to turn automatically and photograph it as it goes by. All the data will be stored, and then we'll download it later. We have 5 minutes before closest approach. So I only have a few minutes to tell you the history of comets, so let me give it a shot. Comets are beautiful objects in the sky. Unbelievable tails on comets we see perhaps once a decade, maybe two a decade. Our early humans on Earth looked into the sky and they incorporated the stars. They created their shapes and figures, constellations. They saw the wandering stars, which we now know are planets, and they saw the comets. But the comets got a bad rap. Nearly every one of those cultures in the past attributed comets to gloom, doom, and disasters. Fires, floods, tsunamis. You can go back into history and you can see the Chinese records, hundreds of decades long, where this is the comet, this is the tail, this is what they saw, and these are the disasters that happened that year. Looking for a pattern, looking for something they could predict the future. Even as early as 1910, when Halley came by, and we went through its tail, there were vendors on the street selling gas masks because of the noxious fumes. Well, in the last 25 years, we've gone by a number of comets. We've flown through the tails. We've photographed only 4 of those comets. And we've been surprised each and every time. We've brought back material from the tail of one comet called Tempel 1. And we've been analyzing it now for a couple years. And we have identified glycine, an amino acid in that comet. Glycine, that amino acid, is a basic building block of proteins that's in every cell that we have. It's that important to us. It's a building block of life. We now believe that perhaps a significant amount of water on this earth was brought to us by comets in the early bombardment that occurred billions of years ago. So rather than harbingers of gloom and doom, these comets perhaps are necessary to start life. And we'd like to know that for sure. When we look at the comets we've flown by, and there's been 4 of them, we've flown by Halley, we have flown by Boreal, we have flown by Tempel 1, and we have flown by Wilt 2. And these comets are on the order of 5, 6 kilometers, 10 kilometers in size. And we've looked at these, and we have tried to classify comets. You know, is Pluto a planet? We're in the classification business. That's what it's all about. It tells us a lot about its origin and history by just one word, classification. And we can't. We cannot figure out what the pattern is. A couple of these comets look very irregular, sort of like potatoes. Others are more spherical. One is pitted on the surface. Another is very smooth. And so we are at a loss to understand what these comets are all about and how to classify them. So flying by Hartley 2 is indeed an attempt to understand what these comets are all about, what their structure is. Now, this comet has already given us some surprises. We've looked at it for a long time, watched it come in. We thought it was about 1 kilometer in size, probably spherical. But when we hit it with radar, the 300-meter dish at Arecibo, we found out that it was bigger, 2.2 kilometers, and it wasn't spherical, it was oblong. Very different, very different. It also produces an enormous amount of dust. And so this encounter is very dangerous. Now, the Earth is on the other side of the comet. You can see the antenna below, this big dish. It points away, and that's because we're making sure the instruments are looking at the comet. We're not telemetering back this data, and we will only do so after the comet is over. But this is a very, very risky maneuver. We're going to fly by about 700 kilometers over the surface of the comet. We will be able to see on the comet something this size, right here. So we'll see its craters, or we'll see its rivers of material that may have flown. We will see these jets that will be coming out that are spraying everywhere, creating this coma. And we hope to understand where this comet has come from. I mean, when you think about it, it was born far away from the sun, where ices occur, water, ammonia, methane, soil. We think these things are dirty snowballs, remnants of material that have accreted. And now it's come in to reveal its secrets. So we're about ready to fly by it. You're seeing this real time. This is exactly what you would see if you were sitting on the spacecraft. You can see in the upper corner, we've created that little shape model. We've sort of figured out that must be gas somewhere coming out that higher density than other. The comet spins. Everything spins. The Earth spins. The moon spins. The sun spins. Asteroid spins. And these comets spin. And when they spin, they pile the debris way out into space, and we fly through that. And we are about ready to go through it. Now, what will happen, of course, is we have to wait. In 30 minutes after the encounter, the spacecraft will turn its antenna to the Earth. It will dump that data back, and then we'll know what happened. So I'm asking you to wait to the end of the day. In the meantime, this simulation is available on our website, solarsystem.nasa.gov/eyes. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you.